I knew as a leader, being president of the student body at the University of Texas at Arlington, that I had to understand how to run a meeting. And they said, well, the first thing you need to do, you need to look at Robert's Rules of Order. You need to see how Robert's Rules of Order will work in this whole process and make it where it's not so convoluted that people get tired, people get frustrated, but make it easy, facilitate where people say, yes, I have that. I can put a motion on the floor and I know how to vote on a motion. I know how to amend a motion. And so I want people to look at Robert's Rules of Order as something as a help opposed to a hindrance. Because many times people find themselves, I can't do that. I don't know how to put a motion on the floor. But there are basic steps of putting a motion on the floor, and it can help you and it can empower you to become a fantastic leader.
Welcome to another episode of B50 After Dark. I'm your host, Mickey Bennett, and in today's episode, we'll be having the first of several conversations with Walter Price, or as people who know how amazing this guy is, Walter the Encourager Price. We're going to have a great conversation today. Welcome to B50 After Dark. I'm your host, and welcome to you, Walter.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited about being here, and I'm just so excited just to talk about Robert's Rules of Order, parliamentary procedure.
Parliamentary procedure. I'm glad you mentioned that because you are District 50's official parliamentarian.
Yes. I serve at the pleasure of the district director and for the whole body to really teach them how parliamentary procedure is so very important for leadership.
Now we're going to get really into the weeds of Robert's Rules of Order in our next conversation, but just so people have an idea of what we're talking about, what is parliamentary procedure?
Parliamentary procedure is a process of running your meetings in a way that systematically to get whatever motion that you want to get on the table or whatever processes you want to go through in order to get your final result. Going through certain motions, going through certain opportunities for members in order to get their voice heard. And so it's a way in which members can get their voice heard and also get what they want as well.
So if you've ever watched C-SPAN and you see some congressman say something like, I yield back the balance of my time,
Yes.
What they're referring to is a system of rules of how their meeting is run.
Yes, that's correct. And you see that not only in the United States Senate and the House of Representatives, you also see that in England at Parliament. And so you see individuals that have adopted in their bylaws and their rules that we will go by Robert's Rules of Order, and that everyone in that will be heard. You have a voice, everyone on the floor can have a voice, and that's one of the main purposes of it, to have a voice, and so that we can have order in the meetings as well. And so those are one of the two reasons why we have Robert's Rules of Order.
Okay, great. Now, in a moment, I'm going to ask you about your role as parliamentarian in the district. But first, let's just get to know a little bit more about who Walter Price is. How long have you been in Toastmasters?
I've been in Toastmasters since 2010, and I joined in Toastmasters of Terrell in Terrell, Texas. And I tell people Terrell, Texas, small town, and it's where Jamie Foxx grew up.
Oh,
If you remember Jamie Foxx, the
yeah.
comedian, and also the Oscar winner. And we're about at the college called Southwestern Christian College. So we have a Toastmaster club on the campus of Southwestern Christian College. And so we get an opportunity to have young people with the college be a part of Toastmasters. And so 2010, I've been a member 2010.
Very cool.
Since 2020.
We're also later going to have a conversation about the work you do in your college with Toastmasters. So we're just going to have a really great time here.
Awesome.
Now, what's your home club?
It's called Toastmasters of Terrell.
Toastmasters of Terrell.
And,
very cool.
And like I said, been a member since 2010.
And what's your educational level?
Educational level, I have 4 DTM, Distinguished Toastmasters Award.
4 DTMs.
4 DTMs.
That is impressive.
A lot of people helped me through that process.
Very cool. Now, you are the district's parliamentarian. Did you just start in this year in July, or were you already before?
Yes, I was appointed in July. You're appointed by the district director. and I serve at the pleasure of her. And the parliamentarian, many times people think the parliamentarian can go around and say, you need to do this, you need to do that. But primarily, the parliamentarian of any group is to advise the chair.
Okay.
And so that's what I'll be doing, advising the chair, in this case, the district director. And I will also be doing trainings for division directors as well as area directors as well of the district.
Very, very cool. So the parliamentarian doesn't wield the power, the chairman wields the
Yeah,
power. You
chairman.
just help the chairman understand how that power works.
That's right. I'm an advisor
Yeah.
to the chairman and others as well. They ask questions in trainings and outside our meetings. I can help in that area as well and guide them through that process.
Now, you mentioned you're going to do some training with the division directors and area directors. I think that's a new thing. Have we done that
We have
before?
not done that before, and I'm so excited about it. I'm really passionate about individual leaders understanding Robert's Rules of Order. And I think not only Toastmasters, but other organizations have really left that out where leaders do not have to address that issue, but it can help them grow in so many ways to learn how to run a meeting, how to put an agenda together, and how to really manage conflict within the organization. I think all leaders need that so they can be able to even not only grow as we just talked about, as well as just understand the whole process of running meetings.
Yeah. Now, you mentioned that you work at a college. You are a professor.
I am. I am. I've been teaching. I've been teaching for over 20 years now. In actuality, it's 25 years. And so I teach speech courses, introductory speech courses, as well as business courses as well, and leadership courses. I
Wow.
love leadership. And so I've been doing that with Southwestern Christian College, as well as Jarvis Christian University now. It was a college, it's a university now. And I graduated from the University of Texas at Arlington, where I also, once I graduated, I taught in the continuing education department leadership courses. And that's where this kind of birthed itself in high school as I graduated, as well as when I was in college, when I was involved in student government, became president of the student body at University of Texas at Arlington, and learned a lot about Robert's Rules of Order and that incubator in that glass ceiling, that glass house, I would say, and just learned a lot how to become a leader. And Robert's Rules of Order was one of those areas in which I try to become proficient in, even as a student.
What what was the impetus of you picking up Robert's Rules of Order and learning that?
Well, I knew as a leader, being president of student body at the University of Texas at Arlington, that I had to understand how to run a meeting. And they said, well, the first thing you need to do, you need to look at Robert's Rules of Order. You need to see how Robert's Rules of Order will work in this whole process and make it where it's not so convoluted that people get tired, people get frustrated, but make it easy, facilitate where people say, yes, I have that. I can put a motion on the floor and I know how to vote on a motion. I know how to amend a motion. And so I want people to look at Robert's Rules of Order as something as a help opposed to a hindrance. Because many times people find themselves, I can't do that. I don't know how to put a motion on the floor. But they're basic steps of putting a motion on the floor, and it can help you and it can empower you to become a fantastic leader.
Yeah. So going back to your professorship, you teach communication, you teach business, you teach leadership, and you're an expert in parliamentary
Oh, yeah.
procedure.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's part of leadership. I consider that's part of leadership.
Yeah.
But yes, yes, I love it. I love it. And even my students, one of the things they have to do is learn the basics of parliamentary procedure because they're going to, at some point, come in an organization, become an organization, and they're going to have to know how to put a motion on the floor. They may be board members of an organization, nonprofit or profit. They may be on the board of Google. They may be on the board of Exxon. And as you know, many times in their bylaws, we run our meetings by Robert's Rules of Order. And so they're in their situation. I want them to be empowered to know how to run a meeting and not just say, I don't know what's going on and I'm just going to retreat and not do anything. So it's really important that I believe if you're in any kind of leadership position, that you know about Robert's Rules of Order, you know how to run a meeting.
Yeah. And your students get that with you.
Yes, yes. That's one of the things they get graded on that as well, so they have to do it. And so they like it at the end. They it may be dreadful for them. I don't want to do this, but eventually they said, thank you. I really appreciate that. Now I know how to run a meeting.
Very cool. Now, having been in Toastmasters 14 years,
Hmm.
I'm sure you've got some interesting stories. Tell us one of your most memorable moments in your Toastmasters journey.
Well, I'll tell you when I first got started that I had two friends that came to the college, and they said, Walter, they was part of District 50, and they said, we want you to, get in Toastmasters. And for a long period of time, I didn't want to get in Toastmasters. I said, I know about Toastmasters. I know how to speak. That arrogant attitude. And I did know. I was in high school. I was in UIL, University Interscholastic League, and I spoke all the time. And other venues, Future Farmers of America, I spoke all the time. And I said, well, I need to get in Toastmasters. And so what they use against me, I'll just go ahead and say it. They say, this can be for your students. And they know I would always try to find things to empower or programs to empower my young people. And that's how they got me in. That's how I got in 2010. And so, yeah, that'd be a great opportunity for my students. And from then, thus, I've been in Toastmasters. And once I got in Toastmasters, I found out the incredible things you can do as a speaker, but not only as a speaker, but a leader as well, and learned a lot of leadership skills, including Robert's Rules of Order, how to run those meetings. And the rest is history, primarily that process. I've had a lot of mentors, uh, males as well as females, that have helped me through the process of becoming a better leader, and I really appreciate all those who helped me through the years. And so now I try to give back. I try to do what they mentored and helped me through that process as well. And parliamentary procedure is one of those things that I think I can help individuals be a part of as well.
Yeah, well, you mentioned one of my favorite topics, mentoring. I love
Mhm.
that element of Toastmasters. Tell us, how has having great mentors helped you? In what way?
It has been incredible. I believe, and I tell individuals this all the time, is that just don't leave the skills that you have now in Toastmasters, take them out and apply them to your nonprofit organization, apply them to your work, apply them to your business, because they can help you with that process. And many mentors that have helped me, and I'm saying 10, 15 mentors have helped me in the past, have shown me that road of how I can do that. And I even mentor young men who may not have a traditional family, as we talk about it, quote unquote, the father and the mother. And so I mentor them through I tell Zoom through Zoom. I tell people the positive thing that came out of COVID 19 was, I believe, is Zoom and Google Meets, where people now can mentor. Because for a long period of time, people tell me, Walter, I don't have time to mentor. I can't drive 30 miles. I can't drive 40 miles. Now you don't have to do that.
Mhm.
You can get an account with Google. Google Meets is free. Zoom gets you a $15 account, and then you can mentor young people. You can mentor your peers. You can mentor those folks that are in your organization through that whole process. And I got that thought primarily from Toastmasters of how we can mentor people through that process.
That's so interesting. So you mentioned you've been mentoring young men through Zoom.
Mhm.
Is this some kind of formal thing that you're doing through an organization, or is this just this people
It's
you've met?
something that came out of COVID. Many of us were stuck in. We didn't get a chance to go to the office, and so what I thought, and many of the students were still going to school, and what I would do, they get on before they go to school for 5, 10 minutes, give them an affirmation, a positive thought. You can do it today. You're going to be successful. Give them a motivational mindset before they go in. And so that's part of mentoring as well. And now I'm trying to train other men to do that same type of pattern as well. You don't have to go again 20, 30 miles, drive 20, 30 miles. You can do it via Zoom through that process. And it's been an exciting process as well. that I've learned from, and have seen a lot of young people just grow through that process.
Wow. Well, I can see why people call you Walter the Encourager Price, because you definitely, your actions match your name.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah. Well, we're going to have several more conversations with you in upcoming episodes, but before we wrap up this conversation, if our audience is intrigued by what they've heard from you and they want to know more about you or see what you're up to, how can they reach out to you, and what are you up to?
Sure. I'm writing a book. I'm writing a leadership book and writing a speaking book as well. I love communication, and I love leadership. Those are two of my addictive types of things. I read all kinds of books related to that. Dr. John Maxwell has several books. I've been certified by his organization as well. But I just love that the Zig Ziglars and the Anthony Robbins and the Les Browns. I love the process of motivating people to the next level. So I'm writing a book through that process and through many of their examples as well. But I would love for them to contact me. I'm going to give my email address.
Okay.
professorspeaks@gmail.com. professorspeaks@gmail.com. And would love for them to call me 469-474-5241. I do a lot of coaching of executives in Fortune 500 companies as well as nonprofits as well. And would love to help someone or guide someone, or even tell them what I'm doing, and they can implement the same thing. I believe in you can copy me, you can copy me, but it will eventually help you find your own road, so you can mentor other folks as well. And so I would love to reach out and just contact me.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here. It's been great learning a little bit about you, and we'll get into our next conversation in the next episode. Thank you, everyone, for listening as we've gotten to know a little bit about our district parliamentarian, Walter the Encourager Price. Check out the next episode where we're going to go even deeper into parliamentary procedure and Robert's Rules of Order. It's going to be a very informative episode.